Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz. I'm your host, Carly Campbell. Oh, yeah, and today's date, it's Wednesday, November 18th. Can't believe we're still in 2020.
Yeah, me too, Carly. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Sabrina, your co-host, and we got our newscaster.
I'm Tom. I'm your newscaster.
And
And
we
I'm
got.
Cameron Dobbin, your sports contributor.
All right. So, Tom, what have we got for the newscast for today?
All right, we have a few quick stories. So first, according to the Associated Press, President Trump must decide tonight at 5 p.m. whether or not he will declare a recount in the state of Wisconsin, where he lost by 20,608 votes. The recount will cost the president $7.9 million to conduct. In 2016, when Green Party candidate Jill Stein declared a recount in Wisconsin, only 131 votes went to President Trump as a result of the recount. Afterwards, Governor Scott Walker changed the law to make it so that only a candidate within 1% of the winner can call for a recount. This hurt Governor Walker in the end, though, as he lost his bid for a third term as governor to Tony Evers by 1.1%. With Joe Biden being elected as president of the United States, his vice president Kamala Harris will have to vacate her Senate seat before Inauguration Day, which is January 21st of 2021. Governor Gavin Newsom will have to appoint her replacement in the Senate. Progressive Democrats have called for Progressive Representative Ro Khanna to be appointed, citing the fact that Bernie Sanders won the state of California in the Democratic primary. Other contenders that are being widely talked about are Karen Bass, a fellow representative, Representative Adam Schiff, and State Secretary of State Alex Padilla. Finally, according to the New Jersey Globe, New Jersey is expected to see infrastructure projects coming up soon. Governor Murphy announced his plan to spend $500 million on projects that include replacing the Chestnut Street Bridge on Route 22, building a lift span bridge on the Hackensack River to replace the Route 7 Whit Pen Bridge, and resurfacing of roads on Route 27. Governor Murphy says these projects will lead to better infrastructure and enhance regional operations. The weather today in Montclair is 31 degrees Fahrenheit with a high of 38 degrees and a low of 28, I believe. Now back to the studio.
Thank, thank you so much, Thomas. All right. Campbell, you got a 2-minute warning?
Yes, I do. Time for the
Excellent.
2-minute warning here on 90.3 WMC Upper Montclair on the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz. Tonight is the NBA draft. Guys like James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Obi Toppin, of course, LaMelo Ball and RJ Hampton decide and wait their fate tonight as all the NBA teams get to settle their picks tonight in the NBA draft to be held in Connecticut, not in a stadium because, of course, the coronavirus. The NHL wants to have their players more financial deals and 13% up of money cost just because of the upcoming season. The season was sort of turned around kind of for 2021, either in February and or January. Now back to NBA news. 2 halves of the season for the NBA. To talk about more about that, it's kind of crazy because they just announced that they'll have free agency coming up this week, and then following a couple more weeks, preseason and camps open up, and then they'll start the week before Christmas. That is all today for the 2-minute warning here at 90.8 WMC Upper Montclair. And that back to you in your rooms, Carly and Sabrina.
Okay, you didn't have to throw that
Really?
much
You have to
shade.
point us out like that? Come on, Campbell.
Come
I thought
on,
we were
Campbell.
friends. I
That's
thought we were
not-
part of the sophomore club. Why you gotta attack us like this?
Come on, man.
It's all fun and games.
It's all fun and games until someone just throws shade like that. Come on.
You know, really, that hurts my heart. I just want to go back to what Thomas said, that it's 31 degrees in Montclair. Yikes. I'm
It's
sorry.
cold.
Oh, by the way, it was a low of 22. I'm very sorry. I missed it. I
Wait,
forgot.
what? It's a low.
Thomas, you did not make that better.
I'm wearing shorts right now.
You're wearing shorts?
I'm wearing shorts and flip flops.
Carly, are you crazy?
It's always dad weather whenever I just leave the house. Like, it's just always going to be Hawaiian shirt, jorts, depending on whether or not I have jorts, and flip flops. I'm always going to wear that.
I wish I could say the same. I have like the opposite style. It's like grandma like clothing weather. Like I wear like turtlenecks and like sweaters and like boots and like 3 layers of socks. Like I don't know how you're walking around in shorts. That's crazy.
I used to do that, but now it's dad season for the rest of my life. Just
Dad season for the rest of your life. Wow, I
I'll
love
show up
that.
to my wedding in like a Hawaiian shirt and flip flops. That's how committed to this I am right now.
So for you
Wow.
guys, I live in Central Jersey. It's a toasty 34 degrees over here.
Oh,
Really
okay.
showing off. All
I
right,
live in
guys.
Montclair, so
True, true.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Well, moving on to our first story. So, we actually have some good COVID related news for once, which is really, really nice. So, the drug maker Pfizer said that its coronavirus vaccine was 95% effective and had no serious side effects. The
Wow.
results came back from the late stage trial, looking very promising. So the data showed that the vaccine prevented mild and severe forms of COVID-19, and it was 94% effective in older adults. However, only about half of its supply will go to the United States this year, or enough for about 12.5 million people. The company said that it planned to apply for emergency approval from the Food and Drug Administration within days, which could be meaning that we could possibly, or some of us could be having a vaccine maybe by the end of 2020. Everyone's just in such shock that they're all so silent right
Yeah,
now.
I'm in
They're
shock
just
because I
absorbing
mean I
all this
might
good
accept, like-
information. I know, no, me too. I was reading this morning and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Finally, some good news. There's hope.
I was
Yeah.
also reading something this morning. I think some people may still be a little weary of the initial vaccine because only 4 out of every 10 people in the survey actually said they would take the initial vaccine once it was released.
Plus, like, I just want to add something because I saw this last night. My mom's like, "Oh no, she didn't do the entire thing, but she kind of did." Dolly Parton helped to fund the COVID vaccine. Like, she invested $1 million.
Well, you know, the healthcare workers are going to be prioritized for this vaccine, which makes complete sense, especially because not everyone in the United States can get it immediately. Um, So, based on the current projections, the companies expect to produce globally up to 50 million vaccine doses in 2020 and up to 1.3 billion doses in 2021, which is good. I really hope that our healthcare workers get it as soon as possible. I really hope. I don't know if it says this in the article, but like the older people, the elderly, the people living in nursing homes, I worry about them so much, and they're really at risk here. And I really pray that they get this vaccine as soon as possible as well. But of course, the healthcare workers, because they are putting their lives out there for us, and I couldn't be more appreciative for it.
Yeah, like the one thing I did want to like correct myself on, Dolly Parton helped to fund the Moderna vaccine. Just like you know, clearing the air with that one. And according to this, everyone has to take 2 doses. From what I've heard, like they have to get it so cold that like I'm not quite sure how they're gonna transport it. Like it has to be a certain degree below freezing. I don't know. That's going to be a unique sort of challenge for them.
Well, I know they have to, there's other medications like that as well. So like they've transported those. So I think they should be okay with that. But I'm really grateful to see that we finally have it really looks like confident, like positive news with this vaccine. And as soon
Yeah.
as possible, like once we start getting this out, this is when, things are going to go slightly back to, or start transitioning back to being what we used to call our normal, even though some people might argue that this is the new normal for a long time. But I feel like, I don't know, it's debatable. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think this like whole like mask wearing is going to become like a normal thing even after we get the vaccine? Or do you think people are going to stop wearing masks, or any other theories?
I'm just hoping people still have their masks on. Like even though we have a vaccine, not everyone's going to be able to get it. And plus like it's still in the trial stages, and even though it looks like we might have it, it's like just to clarify, it was in order to transport it, it has to be below 70 degrees Celsius or about negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's
So,
cold.
Wow.
yeah, it has to be deep frozen. Like, I don't know exactly how they would be able to transport that kind of thing. So, my main concern is like, obviously, if we have the vaccine, would there be places that could hold it safely? Because like, making sure that the sample used for the vaccine doesn't die off because, oh no, it's slightly above room temperature, I'm dying, like that kind of thing. That would be a major concern for healthcare workers that are like transporting the vaccine.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the healthcare workers who are transporting the vaccine. I mean,
Well, the companies, my mistake.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I can't say. I really don't know a lot about transporting of vaccines that need to be very, very cold. But to add on to the whole coronavirus update that I'm giving you this morning, everyone, there's a lot of stuff going on with the states right now and the governors. So with more shutdowns looming and a vaccine possibly, a few weeks to months away from distribution, governors across the US are pleading for help. Just in New Jersey, yesterday there were 4,060 more positive COVID-19 cases were reported, an additional 38 deaths, which is the highest number of fatalities announced in a single day in more than 4 months. All over the country, hospitals are being overloaded with patients, and the coming end of unemployment benefits for millions of Americans have led governors to worry about the months ahead and what they look like. Governors are hoping the federal government steps in with more money and leadership to help them control the resurgence of the coronavirus. Between now and June 2022, state and local governments could be facing a shortfall of $400 billion or more. The cost of distributing millions of doses of vaccine in 2021 is also emerging as a major concern for governors. State health authorities have called on Congress to provide $8.4 billion in order to help them out with this. And as you can see, like, of course, like, this is obviously good that we have the vaccine coming, but like, there's still so many hurdles we need to get through in order to make it available for everyone. It's going to be a lot of money and it's going to take a lot of time. And I hope, everyone knows that, like, just because Pfizer has this vaccine and it's looking good, it doesn't mean that we're going to get it right away. It's going to be a process.
Exactly. Like, thinking that we might have to go back down on lockdown too. That's what's a little concerning because even though, they shut down the, like, you can't go dining after 10 o'clock, you can't go to the bars after 10. It makes me
No, you
hope.
can't go to the bar at all. They shut down the bar completely.
Oh, but like, I'm wondering when this will happen with schools because I know that they've stopped with like all sports activities. I don't know if like at the collegiate level they've stopped them, but they've stopped them for elementary school, not elementary school, oh my god, high
Uh,
school.
I was actually reading about that when I was working on my newscast this morning. So basically, it's like a district by district thing that whether they want to do a hybrid or they want to just close down and do all remote. My hometown are doing all remote now, and they shut the school down because of the rise in COVID cases.
Hmm. That is true. It's just like there, even if it is district by district, there's going to be some point where there will be a total shutdown for the state, like what happened back in March.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily. I feel like it definitely depends on the state you're living in and the governor, because the governors are all such different people. I mean, you look at Florida, the Florida governor who had their beaches open for the longest time, even through the high rise of the pandemic when cases were so very high. And then you look at like New Jersey, where we shut down right away, right before things really started getting bad back in the spring. Um, but I I have a similar situation, Thomas, where like my district, like most of our schools here are in a hybrid situation, but we're seeing a real increase in cases. And like I check my town website every day because they show you like how many more like new cases every single day. And I keep seeing the numbers go up, and that worries me because like I know like the schools are probably going to get shut down eventually again just because of the uptake in cases. And I worry about the kids who are in, especially like elementary school and middle school, who still need that physical, like one-on-one in-person learning. And to expect a kid to sit in front of a computer is just so unreasonable. Like one thing, us, we're like older, we're mature, but maturer,
Are
we
you
kind
sure
of,
about that?
we're very mature, but we at least we understand how to do this and make the best out of our education.
I
And
was actually also reading that down in Middletown, which is actually Governor Murphy's hometown, they're protesting outside the school because they all want to play sports, and the school district completely shut down.
Hmm. Like, the one thing for me is I like both my parents are teachers. My dad works as a third grade teacher, and my mom works as a phys ed teacher. My main thing is I'm concerned about what's going to happen with them because my mom's entire thing depends on being able to teach health classes or teach gym classes, and I'm not quite sure how the procedure works, but I do know that she goes in every other day. I'm just concerned because if anything, third graders, like, especially for my dad, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but like third graders are gross because they open mouth cough like everywhere. They're just like my dad says like he has basically built a tolerance to like the flu and stuff because just kids sneezing in his face all the time. But like I don't think there will be anything like that. Hopefully kids are wearing their masks. Please wear your mask, kids. I don't know if there are any kids listening to this, but please wear your mask.
Hi, I'm gonna jump in. I'm Louis Biondello. This is the news director of WMSC.
Hi, Louis Biondolillo, news director of WMSC.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Go
So
ahead.
I'd like to give a little bit of a secondhand perspective on how one school is doing at least. My sister is a fifth grade teacher, um, and I'm not gonna say the school, but it's in Central Jersey, which does exist. Um, and
I'm gonna have to fact check you. Central Jersey does not exist.
all
I'm
right,
sorry. I will not stand for this kind of slander on my show. I mean,
regardless,
our show.
regardless, um, she does say that while it is a little bit different, um, they are all wearing their masks properly. They're all social distancing. So the biggest issue that they had was actually sports. A lot of cases did come from sports, and so they shut down the entire school. Um, but she said from just the classes, they had one case in total. So that's not bad at all. They've been open for a month. They did have to shut down about a week ago, and they were supposed to reopen on Monday, but then they were like, "But we're off on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday anyway, so why are we opening on Monday?" So they're gonna reopen in a few weeks if they're allowed to. So
good to
it's
hear.
definitely a case by case basis based off the schools. There's all types of schools, small schools, big schools, humongous schools. Uh, Smart kids, not so smart kids. You know how it be, right, Sabrina?
I do know how it be,
Ah,
Louis.
of course.
No, but that's definitely good to hear that like, at least parents are motivating their children to follow these procedures. And it also shows you the initiative from the students as well. Like these little kids, that means they know what's going on, and they understand the risk of like not following these procedures. And it really proves that they want things to go back to normal. And it's really true the saying, like, you don't appreciate something until it's gone. Because like I doubt any of these kids appreciated going to school like they did before until now. Like, I mean, obviously, like as we all do, but no, that's really good to hear.
Yeah, I'm super happy to hear that. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been the same case on campus. We've had a lot of issues here on campus. However, it kind of has been because most cases have not been being traced back to individual classes. Most cases have been traced to residential students leaving campus, going to parties, and bringing it back to the other residents. That's why we had almost, I think, almost 40 cases last week alone. And that's why all of these new rules are being implemented. So from my perspective, and again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm seeing things from public schools and I'm seeing things from universities, that it's not the classes that are being these super spreader events, because people are following the rules. We have rules in place like social distancing and masks, and we know that those work scientifically. The big issue is when people leave that little safe area. It's not even a bubble. I'm not going to even try to call it a bubble. But once they leave that safe area, and the rules don't apply when you're not at work or school these days. So once that happens, that becomes the issue.
I have a question, Lewis, if you're allowed to answer this, but like for the residential students who are being tested positive with COVID, are they being sent like immediately to like the Stone or the Bone Hall where you put all the sick students, or are they being sent home?
So that was definitely the original plan, to send them to Stone and Bone Hall immediately. And I can talk about this because this is a procedure, not about an individual.
Mhm.
Um, what's been happening, at least in the village, and they contact us. So anybody on that lives on Clove Road, whether that's the Hawk Apartment, Sinatra, or the village, gets moved. We've been moving them into rooms within the village by themselves, if that makes sense. So that we have little quarantine spaces, which are super fun. I've been in a lot of them. I've set them all up pretty much. They got shower curtains in there, all fancy. Montclair doesn't usually supply shower curtains. We give them masks, paper masks. Some of these boys, Montclair masks, and then if they have a meal plan, I do a lot of ding dong ditch with Sam's Place orders.
Okay, but none of them are being like sent home. Like that's like something I was thinking about because like I don't know.
Any
I thought I heard that some of them might have been, but no.
So anybody who lives on campus was offered a quarantine space if they wanted one. However, they're more than welcome to go home. That's not our responsibility if they do go home, though.
Okay, no, because I was thinking about that because, a lot of college students could kind of get away with the idea of like, oh, like obviously I'm not endorsing this, but like, some college students might think like, oh, like I'm not living with my parents, like I'm not high at risk, it might be okay for me to go out and make some not smart decisions. But then I was thinking about like, oh, but like what if they decide to go home afterwards and, give well, after they test positive and give it, to their families, like that's a huge risk as well. And I know I'm kind of rambling, but like, you know what I was
It's
like, you
fine, no
understand like my
worries.
thinking, like,
You're
yeah,
bambling?
I feel like I'm rambling when I'm
Bambling?
rambling.
Is that a
Rambling's a
word?
word I made up,
Is that rambling, but
It's like
like bam?
blabbering and rambling. I'm bambling.
Oh, bambling. Okay, yeah. Well, your bambling kind of makes sense though.
It
Um, there,
does.
there are a lot of students that are doing these things where they leave campus, they're going to these parties. There's even an Instagram account that's dedicated to showcasing Montclair parties from students here, which is kind of really funny in my opinion, because then they all get caught because they're all on the Instagram page, and the university knows about the Instagram page, but for some reason they keep posting on the Instagram page. So like you can tell, like, look, we got scientists telling us not to go to parties, and then we have these people with no shirts on, um, outside in the 20 degree weather. What was it, Thomas? 19? 19 was the low or something?
It's 22.
22, the low of 22, and they're all up in this party, and they're still posted on Instagram, fully knowing that the university knows about the Instagram account. I don't know who I should believe. I really don't. The smart, intelligent scientists, or the people at the
Or the
party.
guy just shirtless in the middle of the weather, like, yeah, the cold can't beat
Yeah.
me. And then he goes home and then he gets like a serious cold as a result of hypothermia. But
Some people
sorry,
just do it.
sorry I was out for a bit. But you
I have
guys
a
ready for the next? What's up?
I was just gonna ask, like, besides Lewis, is anyone else planning on living on campus next semester? Or Carly, are you? Or
I am actually. I'm planning on living on campus next semester. I'm I'm doing this because like I work as a service assistant for Freeman, and like I'm going to be coming back home for break, obviously, like for like winter break, not Thanksgiving break. I'm going to be working during that. And I don't exactly know what they planned out for us because like I know that they're trying to get more people in the dorms for like the spring semester, being like, hey, we got plenty of room. Come on down. If you want a dorm, come on down, you know?
Mhm.
So I don't know how many people are going to be coming on down to like my dorm or whatever, but I do know that we're going to have to expect more people to move in. There's going to be a lot more like occupied quarantine signs on our first floor. So really, we don't know what's going on. So I'm hoping that I'll be like most likely I'm going to be moving back because I already signed the contract and whatever. But I'm a little concerned that they're going to try to implement like more people coming in or more. It's all here. Come on down to this residence hall. So we'll see. Honestly, it depends on how this wave is going to come post Thanksgiving because I know some people are going to disregard the CDC rules and be like, hey, let's just gather for Thanksgiving indoors, which doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, no, that's been a very popular discussion in my household for sure. We're probably just doing something just like my immediate family who I live with because we don't want to risk it right now when things are getting so bad because
Mhm.
it is skyrocketing. I don't know if you guys saw, but yesterday was Corona's birthday. I don't know if they mentioned this on the bus yesterday, but it was
Yes,
Corona's
Queen.
it was Corona's birthday
Yes.
yesterday. The first case of COVID was discovered a year
Wow.
ago from yesterday.
Dun,
So
COVID's a
it was his
Scorpio.
dun.
birthday. It's 1 year
COVID's a
old.
Scorpio.
Happy birthday.
No, we're not singing happy birthday to this
It's with
disease.
COVID, yeah.
I've been invited to a Facebook event. I was invited like 6 months ago, and it's a fake event, so don't worry. And it was we're all gonna celebrate Corona's birthday, and it's just people worldwide. There's no location or anything, so like we weren't going anywhere. And it was very very funny because they were like, is Corona's mom and dad gonna be there? They're like, no, social distancing. You know how it be. They can't come. But if they do come, you got to wear masks and everything like that. It was very funny. People were very much memeing a virus, and it's messed up. However, it's pretty dark humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like dark humor. Anyways, all right, guys, let's move on to our next story. So, Hurricane Iota is now a tropical storm, but the downgrade will do nothing to minimize the devastation it brought into Central America on Tuesday, as many are still recovering from Hurricane Eta. The storm will be felt as far north as the Yucatan Peninsula, as far east as Jamaica, and as far south as Colombia. Its landfall was just 15 miles south of where Hurricane Eta struck, potentially leaving the region scarred for generations. The Hurricane Center stated, start quote, this rainfall will lead to significant life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding, along with mudslides and areas of higher terrain, end quote. Iota was forecast to cross into southern Honduras late Tuesday. Mayor Tionella Peosan Wood stated, start quote, we are facing an incredible emergency. There is no food, there is no water, end quote. Iota is the record 30th named storm of this year's Atlantic hurricane season. It's also the ninth storm to rapidly intensify this season, a dangerous phenomenon that is happening more often. Such activity has focused attention on climate change, which scientists say causes wetter, stronger, and more destructive storms. So, I mean, obviously, like this is my first year really getting very much like involved with like the news and staying in tune with what was going on in the world. But I have noticed so many hurricanes this year. So many, like
30.
I know 30, and it's mind-boggling to me that this could be all because of climate change, and like this is only going to get worse if we continue to do things that we're doing it now. And like I know we all have our own opinions on climate change, but like this for me is like climate change like slapping us in the face right now and being like something needs to be done, or we're just going to
Exactly.
continue to have more and more flooding, hurricanes, bad weather. It's scary.
It really is. Like, just the fact that there's 30, like, I know that I don't really keep track of like hurricane news, but like I don't remember having this many storms like ever. Is this like a new record? Is this a new this shouldn't be a new normal.
Yeah, I know. And it's like we have the pandemic going on, we have so much going on in politics, and it's like all these, like, oh my god, like between all the natural disasters we had in 2020, like the Australian bushfires, the California wildfires, and now we have like all these hurricanes that keep on coming. I mean, there were several during the summer I remember reporting on as a news contributor on the Morning Buzz, and just to think that they keep on coming, and it's terrible because like um the hurricane Iota just hit, wait, I'm sorry, where did it hit? It hit Honduras and a bunch of other places in Central America, but this is like directly after another hurricane hit them 2 weeks ago, Hurricane Ada, and that was another devastating hurricane. So the fact that it's like back to back, like barely like 2 weeks apart, that's terrifying. And with everything else going on, it's like this is like the last thing you need right now.
That is just true. Like, I don't know. This reminds me of like how, I don't know, like how, what was it? I think it was 2018 with like Hurricane Maria and the other hurricanes like that. It was like one after the other, but at least they were getting coverage in the news. Like right now, I didn't know about this hurricane until you told me about this. Like that's how insane. Like we have a hurricane every other day. It seems like.
Yeah.
And according to our fact checker, 2020 is the most active hurricane season on record with 31 hurricanes. Again, this is insane.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and I really worry about like the future for our earth right now, because this is very much going like downhill with all these environmental disasters just piling up and up and up, and something really I believe needs to be done by the government in order to make this stop.
That is true. Um, Lewis, why did you say that? Oh my gosh.
I put in the chat there. I said we are number one for hurricanes this year. It's so much winning. It's the most winning.
We are number one
Lewis.
for COVID deaths too.
We
We're
are.
just number one in all the things that we shouldn't be number one in, really.
Are we number one for obesity as well? I forget. Are we?
USA.
I don't know.
I think we're
Don't-
second. I think there is a.
Yes, we're number two for obesity. Yes.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but I read there was like there was like a Hawaiian or like some Samoan country of some sort with like 93% obesity rate or something like that.
Oh my god.
I remember these weird things for some reason, but
No, I mean that's an interesting fact. It's
Mm.
scary. It's not something good, but it for sure is like you remember when you hear something like that.
Oh boy. So, you guys ready to take a break? If you want to.
I'm never ready, Carly. I don't want this show to end. Can we just go
That's-
24/7? Just never stop. No breaks.
Listen,
No food.
I need to sleep. I need to eat.
Just sleep in the break.
Yeah, I'll just sleep in the break and eat in the break. But like, if we go without breaks, wouldn't that like make it a super buzz? Or would it be a normal buzz if we're doing it every day?
I think it would just be the never-ending buzz.
Oh my god.
24/7 buzz. Let's make it happen.
I don't know if I have the
And Lewis will
stamina
be
for that.
with us the entire time.
Or
Yeah, Lewis.
and we'll be right back here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Alrighty, we're back. And speaking of dogs on skateboards, let's talk about robot wolves. That's it. That's the story. We're just going to talk about robot wolves. So there's a town in Japan that made these robot wolves in order to, like, this is insane. They did this because, like, they have a bear issue. And these don't look like wolves, like the kind of wolves that you'd see in like National Geographic or whatever. These are the kind of wolves that you'd see in your nightmares or like in some horror attraction as a kid and you never quite forget. They have red eyes. They have a tail that blinks colors. They are motion activated. So just like those things that you see at Spirit Halloween that freak you out, like, you know, you're just walking. It's kind of like that, but like for actual reasons. And they were made to protect this town of Takikawa, which is a town in Japan that has a lot of black bear sightings, which is a high after like 5 years. And there were
it's kind of like Jersey. We have a lot of bears here too.
that is true, but they have a lot of black bear attacks compared to here in New Jersey. They were made in a project with this precision machinery manufacturer Ohata Sekai, the Hokkaido University, and the Tokyo University of Agriculture. The CEO said that this is done to, quote, "We want to let the bears know human settlements aren't where you live and help with the coexistence of bears and people," unquote. These monster wolves will be around until November when the bears go back to not hibernization, to hibernation. So, can we pull up an image of this? Because this is like horrifying. I'm gonna like find the story for you guys because like this is, imagine just like you're walking in the middle of the night and you hear this nightmarish growling sound and you turn and it's this crazy looking thing. Like, hold on, can we share the screen?
It's giving me Hunger Games vibes. I haven't even
It
seen
looks
it, but
like it.
from what you said, it kind of sounds like what do they call them? The mutts at the end of the Hunger Games, and they have to jump onto the cornucopia. You know what I'm talking about, Sabrina?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it looks like something out of the Hunger Games. It looks like it's like it looks bigger than like any actual wolf I'd ever see. And I haven't seen any wolves like ever, so I'm gonna try to pull up an image as my virtual background so that way you guys can see. And so that way I can have this just randomly in the middle of our show. So this is what it looks like.
I like how she made it her virtual background. So for those of you who can't see, there is a very it reminds me, it's like a scarecrow, but like a wolf scarecrow.
Okay, hold on.
But
That
a
ain't a wolf.
robot.
That's a sheep.
That's
Are you
That look for those of you, Carly, you described this thing as a vicious little warrior over here. This thing looks like a sheep with black fur
okay, hang on.
with a
Hang
big mouth.
on. Are you no,
Okay, what kind of
no.
sheep have you seen, Lewis? This does not look
Lewis,
like a sheep.
have you been to a farm?
No, but like look at the body. It's definitely a sheep in disguise.
I will agree. It doesn't look very intimidating whatsoever.
like,
it looks
I would go
quite
pet it.
comedic, but I would not say it looks like a sheep. But like
It looks like you gave me
maybe
in
a
third
goat.
grade. In third grade, you gave me Photoshop, and I said, "Oh, look what I can do! I could put a sheep in like a vicious dog's mouth on it."
Here, can you guys see this?
We can.
Yeah, so this is the what Lewis deems a sheep. This does not look like a sheep. If you look closely, you can see the red blinking eyes. It's got like a snarling mouth. It's got speakers for some reason in its abdomen. I guess it just really likes to vibe.
I'm really curious to know what bear would see this and actually be like scared away.
Most likely bears that are just afraid of technology, you know? Not every bear is into technology.
I could like wave my flashlight at him and like not go through this whole process.
But the thing is, it's motion activated, so the moment you like walk by it or whatever, that's when the real show starts. It comes out with these insane sounds. Like, I'm talking growls, I'm talking horrifying noises that scare away bears. And like, according to this, it says it comes with a repertoire of threatening sounds, growls, roars, and heavy machinery noises. So like it's not just like, you know, your normal wolf howling, whatever. It's also like the sound of like, I don't know, construction. They didn't quite specify what they meant by heavy machinery noises.
Very strange.
It is very strange.
I do have some breaking Montclair State news, like as of 8:42 a.m. And guess what time it is? 8:42 a.m. And it's not the news you're expecting. We're not closing the university, so
okay.
take a deep breath. There is an academic calendar change. So if you're a student here, this is important. Tuesday, December 8th, bless up Montclair. It has been designated as a reading day with no classes being held, and that's finals week.
Oh,
You said on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tuesday, December 8th has been designated as a reading day with no classes being held. Classes will resume on Wednesday, December 9th and continue through Monday, December 14th, which is the end of the fall semester.
Oh, excellent.
That literally does nothing to my schedule. I don't have classes on Tuesdays.
Wait,
but
it's on Tuesday? Are you
Yeah, you said Tuesday.
Okay, I didn't like notice that until right now, but I have like a class that's like I have to. usually to meet people, but like it's very late at night, so I mean it doesn't really affect my day, but hey, at least I can not go to class.
This makes me feel very nostalgic. Back when in like elementary school, when they made us go into the hallways and like read for like 20 minutes on like
What?
what was it, reading day or national like reading day. You know what I'm talking about? You had to go and like sit in the hallways and like read on like some special day.
What? Hold on, my school didn't do that. Like I've never heard that before today. So they just had you guys go out in the hall being like, "All right, guys, here's your book. Have
Well, no,
fun."
it was like a special day of the year where they were like, oh, this is like I don't know, some like holiday for reading, and it sounds kind of like whatever holiday or
Read Across America Week?
yeah, that was it.
There we go. We did have that kind of thing in my school, but I've never had go to the hallway and just start reading.
So back to my breaking news for a second. I was unfairly cut off. I feel sad. But
Oh,
that
okay.
that
I'll cut
Tuesday
you off again.
that Tuesday was supposed to be a Tuesday as a Monday, and if you've never been to Montclair,
Oh, okay, that changes everything, Lewis. That
Yeah.
changes everything.
Okay, there we
Now
go.
I'm excited.
yeah. So it was supposed to be Monday, and then on the Tuesday, Monday again. But like now, no Monday, only one Monday, the normal Monday. So it's like a normal week, but
Well, so that
Tuesday.
doesn't make any difference.
So yeah, so basically you
mean-
don't have the same class 2 days in a row, which would have been so bad. It would have been so
Yeah,
My
bad.
Mondays
I
are
have-
so hard.
I have the class where we
know.
just talk. So
I know in one of my classes, Montclair News Lab, we were supposed to put out another episode of our show that day. Like, oh, we have an extra class period, so we could put out a whole nother news show in one day. Yeah, let's just do it. And now we probably won't. So I like that.
good. Good.
Thank you for that very
Thank you for the
interesting
update.
news. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Okay. Really. So back on topic. Lewis, you're acting like, you wouldn't be scared of this thing, but imagine if you're in the middle of the night, you're just walking back home after just doing whatever you're doing, and you just see that. Like, would you be scared then, or like, are you going to be faking it like you are right now?
That's a sheep.
It's not a sheep. It's got a wolf head. It's got fuzzy fur.
It's
I
a sheep.
don't.
It looks like a sheep to me. However,
I'm going to look up sheep because I haven't seen a sheep in years.
it looks like a black sheep, like ba black sheep. You know the whole nursery rhyme
Harley,
thing.
you forget what sheep look like?
Here, I'm going to just share this image with you guys. That way I can
Carly, you're not getting out of this. You don't remember. No. Now look up black sheep. Yeah, right there. Black sheep.
yeah, right here.
No. Scroll up. Scroll up. Black. Yep. There. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
now,
first and foremost, this is a figurine. These two are figurines.
Well,
so
very good and realistic figurine. Fine. You see, look at that picture right there to the right.
this one.
One more to the right. Yeah,
Hold on,
fine.
I'm trying to find it.
Whatever. That's fine.
It's a
Yeah,
photograph.
it's a black sheep with big teeth.
I mean, sure, sheep have big teeth. That's an image of sheep with big teeth. But still, I don't think it's a sheep. Look at that. You're going to look at that head. You're going to look at that dog-looking head and being like, yeah, Carly, that's a sheep. That's clearly a wolf. It's a wolf with a GoPro on his tail. Is it a tail? I don't know.
So Harley, why don't you move on to our next story?
Yeah, I think we should move on to our next story. This one's a little bit more brighter than obviously this weird wolf story. So you guys heard about the SpaceX thing where they sent like 4 astronauts to the International Space Station?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like so insane and history making, but they did something even weirder that I think is very cute actually. A while back we talked about how Baby Yoda was brought into, I believe, Oregon for the firefighting efforts as like a little mascot for a firefighting team. Baby Yoda has traveled to another place that we might not even be able to travel to ever again. Or ever, like us. I'm meaning like us. With the historic SpaceX launch, bringing those 4 new astronauts, they brought a 5th with them. A tiny Baby Yoda plush doll is the 5th member of this team. albeit not an official one. Like, he didn't go through any training or whatever. He's just there. He hitched a ride. So this tiny baby Yoda is something spectacular, because when they had shown the video, like, of, you know, the astronauts coming onto the space station, the last one held up the baby Yoda like it was like a trophy, like almost like, yo guys, look at this, which I find adorable. And of course, this is not the first time that a stuffed animal is brought along with a crew going to the International Space Station. A stuffed dinosaur named Tremor was brought to the station earlier this year. In 2019, an Earth plush toy nicknamed Buddy was brought along to the International Space Station. You might be wondering, why is Baby Yoda up there, besides the fact that Baby Yoda is adorable and should be up there? The plush toy that they use is a zero-G indicator, which is something, it's a small object that they use to determine whether or not they have microgravity in the area. So if they see that little guy floating around, you know you're still in zero-G. And we don't know what type of baby Yoda it is. Like, there's a bunch of different toys on the market, so it's not clear which one they're using. But whatever it is, it's adorable. And we didn't expect to see that thing just pop up in the middle of this historic launch, this historic moment on the International Space Station. So, is Baby Yoda considered a stowaway, or is he considered an honorary astronaut? That's gonna be
That's a
the
good
question.
question. Dude, that's actually so cool though that like I didn't realize they brought Baby Yoda for like an actual reason. I thought they were just like, oh, like I'm just gonna bring my stuffed animal with me because, like, you know, why not? Like, as I would do if I was an astronaut going to another place, I'd be like, yo, Webkins, who wants to come with me? But or just like as like a momentum, like something from home, you know,
Yeah,
something that reminds you.
imagine like you're in the International Space Station, you got like a giant like bulky coat on, and you're like, release the Webkins, and you just like, and the Webkins just come flying out.
Dude, that's literally what I would do. I'm
I
also
would.
like 11 when it comes to like stuffed animals. Like I sleep with stuffed animals on my bed. I love
Same.
them. When I get really like bored or like lonely, sometimes I talk to them.
Aw,
You know,
that's
you ever just need someone to
adorable.
talk to, so you just talk to your stuffed animal.
Yeah, like I brought my stuffed animal to quarantine, and by the way, I forgot to mention this. I'm no longer in quarantine. I've been cleared as of Monday. So, yeah, I just felt necessary to mention it because I don't know. It's kind of weird now,
We
but
were worried.
thank you, Lewis. That actually does mean a lot. But I'm glad that Baby Yoda has gone somewhere that I probably will never go. Space.
Mm.
But do you guys think like,
I mean, Star Wars. So
okay, you
it
didn't need
makes
to
sense.
it does make sense, but like you didn't need to bring in the context. We could just be happy that Baby Yoda's just being Baby Yoda, you know?
In
But
space.
Baby Yoda is in space, but we do have one more story. So a man opened up his home for 300 dogs from a hurricane. 300 puppies, not puppies, they're all good dogs nonetheless. So when Hurricane Delta came to the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, this guy herded hundreds of animals, which include 300 dogs, a uncountable number of rabbits, chickens, and a hedgehog and sheep, just to his patio. I'm gonna pull up an image because this is the most blessed image I'm ever going to see today. Here, look at this dog guy with all these dogs. Like, look at how happy all these dogs look.
Wait, I'm sorry. How many dogs does he have?
Over 300.
Okay, but that's like disturbing. Why does he have that many dogs? Like, no way that's like a good environment for all
It's
those animals.
it's a temporary home because like the Hurricane Delta would have
Oh,
put these
okay, okay.
animals in danger, and he also had a flock of sheep on his patio, just huddled up in his patio. So, just
Okay. That's
my
actually
favorite
kind
thing
of
is the
cute.
dog that's like there's like a motion blur going on, and it looks like he's just like peeking out from underneath his armpit, like, "Hey." I think that's very cute. I really love dogs. But his house, according to him, like was really beaten up as a result of all these furry friends just storming in. He said, quote, "It doesn't matter if the house is dirty, it can be cleaned. The things they broke can be fixed or bought again, but what's beautiful is to see them happy, healthy, and safe without wounds and with the possibility of being adopted." Um, so he has like a home that he shares with a bunch of animals. It's called Tierra de Animales, which is the land of animals in English, which is a 10-year-old animal sanctuary about 20 miles or so southwest of Cancun. And he had gotten people to obviously like find ways to donate to him just to make sure that the animals are safe and healthy. And donations ended up pouring from all over the world. And he said, quote, "We would like to think that thanks to all this attention, somebody would have liked to be part of the story and say, I adopted a dog saved from that famous Hurricane Delta." And he still just has all these dogs, and there's a video of all these dogs, and oh my gosh.
That's so cute. I can't imagine having that many like dogs in my house. I mean, like don't get me wrong, like that'd be so cool, but I would just worry that like what if like some of them, well, I worry that like that some of them would like might fight because like that sometimes happens with dogs. And like as some like I have one dog, and sometimes when we bring him on a walk, like my dog is really small, and like
Oh,
sometimes like the
mine
bigger
too.
dogs like to like intimidate him, and they start like like growling at each other. So to imagine
Yeah.
that they're like all like peaceful and like chill with each other is a cool thought, but like I feel like that's highly unlikely if there's 300 of them.
It's
um,
unlikely, but you know what? Just
are they actually like a family, like I wonder if the
are they a
dogs like
family?
see
Is this like
y'all.
a sitcom?
Maybe it's like Hotel for Dogs. Ooh,
Oh my
there should be
god.
a TV show about like this guy with his 300 dogs. That's
Yes, I would
highly
love
entertaining.
that.
And then
Hotel
we
for
could,
Dogs, that just brought me back. Oh my god. I'm
yeah, it'd be cool though if they had like people like with like the thoughts in their head and like saying stuff like what the dogs are
Mhm.
thinking. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
just that would be cool.
I always think about that. Like I wish I could talk to my dog. Literally, sometimes
Just
I'm
I
like,
wish I
wow,
could talk to myself.
I really do, because like as I said, like I literally talk to my stuffed animals. It's not good, but like as I like to talk to people and things, and I spend so much time with my dog nowadays that I'm just like, wow, like I wonder if like you're learning any English, or like you're catching anything on, or like if you like really know what's going on around you, because it's so interesting when you think about it.
It is.
Like if
I sorry to interrupt. I saw my dog last night and I came in with my dad, and my dog loves my dad, and I realized that the hard way when I was just like, okay, dad, here's my phone. I want you to film me saying hi to the dog because it's been forever since I've seen him. And I come in first. I'm like, hi, Rico, and my dog just like looks at me and he's like, mm. And then he sees my dad and he's like, oh, I love you, man. I missed you. Where have you been? And my dad's only been gone for a couple hours, but meanwhile, I haven't seen him in like months. So this dog is just,
I like how he's named Rico too. That makes me think of like Hannah Montana's Rico.
oh my gosh, I haven't seen Hannah Montana like ever. My dog's named
Oh,
after Puerto Rico, though. He's a good
uh,
dog.
Listen, sometimes dogs like literally like with your story of how your dog was like, yeah, I don't care, you're home. Sometimes dogs are just stressed, you know?
That
Wouldn't
is
you say?
true.
And we
is
do
that
have
an excuse for not saying hi to Carly but saying hi to her father?
oh
Yeah, is it not an excuse for my dog to like just look at me like, you're back? And my dad being like,
Oh, it's you again.
yeah, like literally, I bring him food and I pet him, and he's just like, no.
yeah, but animals get stressed just the same as we do, but sometimes they're really, really cute. And
Are
there's this one more story we have here from the Good News Network. And it's a live stream of polar bears in the wild, and it was created to help us all zen out this winter in the year 2020. And it's super duper cool because the live cams literally show the bears migration in Canada and how they survive in the Arctic. That is incredible, and they're super cute, right?
yeah, look at these little guys. I'm pulling up a picture for those who
So
are listening on
cute.
the radio of what looks like a mom bear and just two baby bears just like chilling. But I just like how you just said mayors. Like all the mayors are just gonna migrate to like warmer temperatures or something. I don't know. But this is like, hang on, I'm trying to find a better picture. This is like in the polar bear capital of the world, and they have a polar bear jail for small, like naughty teenage bears that like cause trouble, and they only get to leave when the sea ice is thick enough for them to go to the bay, which is like kind of funny to think about. Little bear jail. Um, bear jail. Like we had bears that are just coming into this, like I don't know. It's kind of funny because both of those stories that we talked about earlier are connected with wolves somehow. Like the not wolves. Oh my god, bears. Like the wolves are made to stop the bears, and now this is just made so we can see the bears. Bears are nice.
I wish we had more bears in this world because sadly, a lot of these polar bears are dying because of Antarctica melting and
Yeah, like
whatnot,
all
and
the ice
climate
shelves
change. And
melting.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is supposed to be
but
a good story. You're supposed to end it on a good note.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm a realist here.
Hmm. Well, at least we just have we just have these bears in the bear camera in bear jail, and they're hoping that this will be done to help with renewable energy. But nonetheless, I think it's time that we wrap up our morning buzz for today. And I'm Carly Campbell. Thank you so much for listening.
I'm Sabrina.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Campbell.
All right, thank you guys so much, and have a great day.
And this
Oh,
has
yeah.
been the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Bye.
Bye.